Have you ever felt that feeling? You're so drained by certain people that the only solution that comes to mind is just hitting a giant delete button on the whole relationship. No more calls, no more texts, just peace. It really feels like the only way out sometimes. But is it really? Is cutting people off the only way to find that peace we're all looking for? It's a question a lot of us struggle with. And let's be real, sometimes the answer feels like a huge yes. The thought of just creating that distance, well, it can feel like the only way to breathe again, to get away from all that pressure. But what if there's another way? For so long, it seems like we've been stuck with just two options, and honestly, both of them kind of suck. You either suck it up and endure the relationship, the constant stress, the drama, the total exhaustion, or you go the other route, you cut them off completely, and then you have to deal with the guilt, maybe the loneliness, and just the pain of that loss. It's like a choice between two different kinds of hurt. But here's where we get a really powerful reframe from psychology. What if it's not about removing people from your life? What if instead the real goal is to manage the access they have to you? We're talking about access to your time, your energy, and your emotional space. And that's the core idea right here. You don't always need to take that drastic step of cutting someone out. You just need better boundaries. This is that middle ground we've been looking for, the space between just putting up with chaos and creating total lonely isolation. So, what even is a boundary? It's easy to picture this giant brick wall that you build to keep everyone out, but that's not it at all. Think of it more like a filter. Yeah, a filter. It's something you use to consciously decide what gets in and what has to stay out. It's all about management, not shutting the world away. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? Let's dive into a practical toolkit. I've got 6 specific techniques you can start using right away to protect your peace. Our first tool is simple, but wow, is it powerful. And it all comes down to how you communicate. Number 1, you have got to skip the over-explanation. You know what I'm talking about, right? When you set a boundary and you feel this deep need to write a 3-page essay justifying it. Well, here's the thing. Psychology actually shows us that doing that weakens your position. It just opens the door for debate. A clear, simple, "I'm not available for that" is so much more powerful. Clarity is your friend here. Next up, let's talk about our own reactions. This brings us to our second tool. Number 2, stop reacting to everything. Think about it. When you have a big emotional reaction to every little thing someone says or does, you're basically handing them the remote control to your own mood. But choosing not to engage, choosing not to take the bait, that is a serious power move. It keeps you in the driver's seat of your own emotions. This third technique, this one really hits on that idea we talked about earlier, managing access. So, number 3 is limit access, not people. This is so practical. It could look like cutting your hour-long phone calls down to just 15 minutes, or maybe deciding you're not going to share every single personal detail of your life anymore, or simply not being on call 24/7 for emotional emergencies. You're creating distance and giving yourself room to breathe without having to burn the whole bridge down. All right, our fourth tool is a game changer. It's a mindset shift that can save you so much stress. Number 4, don't take it personally. I know, easier said than done. But this is a huge one. What we know from psychology is that how people act is usually a projection of their own stuff, their insecurities, their fears, their own internal chaos. The moment you realize that their snarky comment isn't actually about you, it just loses its power to hurt. It's such a key to staying balanced. Our 5th technique is a classic for a reason, even though it might be one of the hardest things to actually do. Number 5, learn to say no without the guilt. The guilt. For so many of us, saying no feels incredibly selfish. But here's the reality. Constantly saying yes when you're already running on empty, that is a one-way ticket to burnout and resentment. So let's reframe it. Saying no isn't you being mean. It's an act of self-respect. It's essential. And that brings us to our 6th and final technique, which is all about focusing on your most valuable asset. And that is number 6. Choose where you invest your energy. Your energy is your most precious and most limited resource. Every single day, you're making choices about where that energy goes. Intentionally pointing it toward people and things that bring you a sense of calm instead of chaos, that might just be the ultimate way to protect your peace.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, protecting your peace isn't about building fortresses or making dramatic exits. It's really about becoming a conscious manager of your own energy through all these small, consistent choices you make every day. And that really boils down to this simple but powerful idea. This isn't just a nice little saying to put on a pillow, it's a real practical strategy. When you shift your focus to what actually nurtures you, what brings you calm, you naturally starve the chaos of all the attention it needs to survive.
So I'll leave you with this question. It doesn't have to be some huge, life-altering act. Maybe it's just saying no to one tiny request, or choosing not to react to that one comment you know is coming. Or maybe it's just taking 5 minutes of total silence for yourself. What is one small, deliberate choice you will make for your own peace, starting today?